Yo, what's up everyone? I'm finally back to Dota after a very long break. So patch 7.28 dropped a few weeks ago, and actually it was pretty interesting, and I thought it was a pretty fun patch. A lot of things got changed, and that made me more interested to actually play the game again. So I recently came back. I recalibrated at Divine 1. I'm ready to start climbing again. But since I've been away from the game for so long, I thought maybe I should check out what some of the top offlaners in the world are playing nowadays, so that it's gonna be easier for me to climb that sweet MMR. So I'm just gonna do my replay analysis again, and maybe to just let you guys know how I find games to watch from. Actually, YouTube is a very good example of this. So, like for today, we're going to take a look at Dota 2 Pro's channel. It's not like I'm sponsored by them or anything. It's just that I regularly use them to view replays of pros who are playing those interesting heroes that I've never played before and thinking of playing. So one of these heroes is Venomancer. I think he's pretty interesting as an offlaner because he's not your traditional tank. He's more of a lane pressure person that will like take over the lane pressure towers, and that's how you make space for your team that way. So we'll see how EG.iceiceice plays it. I've always wanted to play more Venomancer, and I'm just wondering if this is a good hero to climb with. So yeah, we'll see what he does here. So we're just going to be watching this video here and doing the analysis as it is. So yeah, at the start of the game, you need to remember that Venomancer is literally a range creep with passive, which does quite a lot of damage over time. It's a good harassing spell, but you're also very squishy. So you want to make sure that you either pick Venomancer if your position 4 is a melee hero, or a range support that can take some attention away from you, who can cover you with stuns or slows, that sort of thing. So for Venomancer, I think the way you want to play it is you don't want to pick it too early. Otherwise, if your position 4 is a weak laner, then your lane's just going to be really difficult. And Venomancer is going to be very weak until you reach level 2 or 3 Plague Wards. Normally there will be hero level 5 or 6. And for the starting items, ISSIs went for the two Fairy Fires to help with the attack damage, because you can see that Venomancer's base damage is very low, 47. Even with the two Iron Branch and the Circlet, it's only 51 total with all these items. So definitely for a hero that's so dependent on getting levels fast, you want to make sure you get those last hits reliably, and then we'll see where he goes from here. So looks like no one's really going for the rune. Oh, that's because the enemy team went for the top rune here. I guess they go ahead and try to kill the Bane, but he TPs out because none of them have any stuns left. So SSS actually learned the first spell, which is not that ideal. You only learn this at level 1 if you feel like you're going for a kill. So now he needs to go back to lane. His position 4 is a Nyx, which is good. It's a melee hero. Once again, you want to play a Venomancer with a melee pos 4, someone that can stun for him. So together you will have very high impact and harass ability. Because if it's just Venomancer alone, you are just you know having to poke a guy with your auto attacks, and sometimes they can just keep their distance and walk away from you. But if you have a position 4 melee that can run up and hit the enemy carry or the support, that makes your harass more and more effective and dangerous, because you actually have kill threat. Like right now, the monkey is taking a lot of harass, so you can imagine if he's alone in this lane or his support doesn't have any stun to follow up with, the monkey just walks away. And I mean, sure, it's good harass, but you're not gonna kill anyone. But of course, Ice right now he notices that the enemy doesn't have any crit wave in the lane, so that's why he got aggressive on the Monkey King and got a lot of free hits in. You can see that the monkey is almost half health already. What the Nyx did was his pause 4 helped to bring the crit wave behind the lane in front of his bottom tier 1 tower. So that's why the monkey didn't have any creeps back up, and then Ice took the opportunity to harass the enemy carry. So if your pause 4 is doing this for you, you notice that the enemy carry is tanking creeps, just go ahead and whack him, because there's not much you can do against that, especially at level 1. You can see that Exercise is trying very hard to not let the monkey get the range creep, but monkey is a high level player, so he's using his spells to secure range creep. Once again, always use your spells to secure range creeps. It's too important. Last hitting. Oh wait. Yeah. So once again, you see how. So over here, you see how useful it is to have a position 4 that can stun. So Exercise starts off with the first spell, the Gale, and then his supports come in for the cleanup. So this is a hero that can't really solo kill people. You need your pause 4 or your support to help you actually get those kills. Otherwise, people just walk away from you. So you can see that Exercise knows that the Bane is playing on the left hand side of the lane, so he plays on the right hand side, like he hides in the trees over here. This is to make it harder for the support to land harass on you. If you stay in the lane just in the middle, then they're just gonna keep hitting you with right clicks, and you don't want that. You just want to keep hiding in the trees, make them chase you, so that if the more time they spend chasing you, the more likely it is that they won't have time to pull, they'll forget to stack, and they'll forget to go for runes, that kind of thing. So this is a good habit to have. Always play in the tree position that is opposite of the support. So I guess since he knows that he is having a lot of support in his lane, he opted to go for no points into Plague Ward. So you only really want to do this if you always have someone in your lane and you know that you're very strong in lane. Because most of the time, Venomancer, they just want to get to level 5 as soon as possible, get that level 2, level 3 Plague Ward, and then they can just start spamming the Plague Wards on the lane, and it can just be solo 1 versus 2, no problem. But of course, if your team has supports that want to play aggressive with you, like in this game, then obviously you can change the skill build a little bit to a more fighting kind of skill build. So you're not doing that much of farming because you don't have the wards, but you're doing a lot of fighting with the level 2 Gale and level 2 passive. We can see now that this is what Venomancer does best. You set up your wards behind the enemy tower, you capture the waves, and then you let your own crit wave pressure the tower. So, and Venomancer can do this very well because the wards, they can help you tank, creep aggro, and it costs so little mana, you can just spam them everywhere. It's pretty good. Oh, and the monkey just oh, so close. Monkey, yeah, he almost died there. So you can see that Veno doesn't have a lot of solo kill potential, he doesn't have a stun, and he doesn't have burst damage. So it's very dependent on your team to help you there. Oh, he got off a very nice ultimate and Gale combo on the Invoker. I think his Invoker is probably gonna die here. Nice ward placement to block the Invoker's escape. So you can see that he's going actually for Boots of Travel. This will allow him to respond to enemy pressure around the map. Normally if you're playing a pusher, like someone that can clear the side waves, you want to build a Boots of Travel because I think the item is just really so good right now. And then it makes a hero like Venomancer so much more mobile because it solves his biggest problem where he has no mobility skills, and if you're pushing a lane and you're without a TP and the team takes a team fight and loses, then it's a really feels bad, man. Oh yeah, and an important thing to do when you are playing Venomancer in the jungle is when you put your wards, you don't want to like put it in your own camp. I mean, if you're farming the enemy jungle, sure, you can block their camps with your wards, but if you're farming your own side of the map, then don't go in. Be careful to not put the wards in the spawn box of the NC, because otherwise your carry is going to scream at you. So you can see that with level 3 wards, you can farm the ancients, this triangle area over here, quite effectively. So he sees a fight happening and then he TP's top. Because he's got Boots of Travel, he can go back to bot very easily to push it out again. So I think, yeah, Boots of Travel, pretty good item on Venomancer. Definitely, I'll try that. Oh, but then the Bane gets him. A quick snipe. So now that the top wave is pushing, he's actually helping to create more space for his team by invading the enemy triangle and warding it up. So this will actually waste either the enemy carries time or the enemy supports time to try to kill off the wards in their own jungle. Meanwhile, his team can be farming another side of the map or pushing our objective. So I think this is a pretty good play. But of course, you need to be careful. You need to ward up the high ground before walking up, like what iceiceice did. Otherwise, you might be walking into a carry farming the NC and then you just feed. So only do this when you know that the enemy team is showing somewhere, such as mid, and then you can feel free to do this. So he also came out here at around the rune timing, so he got a bounty rune, which is very nice. And now he's just farming this whole area, and yeah, it's pretty insane how efficient he is with the with his jungle invasion timings. So once again, he knows that the enemy team is all mid, so he can afford to do this without any fear. And he's just gonna finish farming up this juicy triangle. Oh, now that his Weaver is dead, he has permission to farm the triangle. So once again, we can see how Veno is pretty good at farming triangles. You just put the ward in between the two camps, and then you just farm them. Okay, that's good to note. And he just got a lot of neutral items for his team. Nothing much here, just pushing out the wave. And now he's trying to be annoying to the monkey. So he's just finishing off the enemy's ancients here. Pretty annoying. Once again, he's farming the triangle. So Venomancer farms triangles. That's how you make full use of your wards. And you also deny farm from the enemy. And yeah, it's pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. Pushing, pushing. But I think the enemy high ground is pretty strong right now, so not like they can do much. Whoa, whoa, what happened here? Oh shit! Oh, then wow. Okay, so he saw the monkey going on the tree, and then he used his force staff to break the tree. That's a next level play right there. That's a next level play. So Aghanim is really good because it increases the damage of your ultimate and make sure that your hero can continue scaling into the late game. So once again, nothing's happening on the map, just go back to farming the triangle. But you gotta be careful not to farm too much of your triangle. You only do this if your team isn't doing any pushes. So in this case, the team can't push because they lost the Nyx and the Nature's Prophet. So in the downtime, iceiceice farms the triangle. So he's just putting his wards, he's just spamming the wards non-stop, make it really hard for the enemy team to chase his team outside of the base. Hits the Bane with the wards. And it's just rinse and repeat. Hit people with a gale, plant your wards off cooldown, get your ulti off if you got a good chance for it. Oh, he almost cut the tree of the monkey again. Almost. Oh wow, he's actually going solo for the Shadow Shaman. But I think he might have gotten a bit. Oh wow, that was a nice stun by the Nyx. Alright, he died. Unfortunate, but yeah. That's why you can see that Venomancer is not really the tankiest hero. You gotta be careful with your positioning at all times. Monster kill. Yeah, so once again you can see how Venomancer isn't really the tankiest hero. You can't really man fight people, so you gotta be careful. not to be too aggressive. You're not the one that's going in front. You need to let your position fall or your mid or your carry do that. Oh, he gets a very nice gale off. Blinks in, gets an ulti off. Okay, so this is where it gets a bit like to the downside of Veno. So you can see that in the late game when everyone is like level 20 and above, everyone's got items. If you go for things like Spirit Vessel, you can't really contribute much else to the team fight. You're just throwing out your gear, your wards, your ultimate, and it's all good damage, but it's all magical damage, and it's not gonna stun anyone. It's not going to really slow them a lot. He didn't go for items like Shiva's, Lotus, which will help his team in the fight. So yeah, it's hard to play Veno in the ultra late game because a hero doesn't scale nearly as well as traditional offlaners. So yeah, that's one thing to be careful of when you pick Venomancer in pubs. So he bought a Blink Dagger so that he can get on top of people for the Nova, and also helps with the hero's mobility as well. He gets another nice ultimate off. Shadow Shaman actually ends up dying to the ultimate, and the enemy team's all buying back. So once again, look at his positioning in the late game fights. He's just putting the wards in front. He's standing behind his team, behind his own cause. So it's not like a traditional pos 3 where you're actually the one front lining. 4 staffs the Queen of Pain out, which is very nice. Now that the BKBs are running out, he can think about going back in for a Poison Nova soon. There we go, very juicy Poison Nova. And I think that's game. Mega Creeps. So yeah, pretty simple hero to play, but it's difficult to get the most effectiveness out of Venomancer. So after looking at this replay, I definitely understand more of what Venomancer wants to do in the game, which is you want to push really hard, create pressure on the map, and then once the enemy team responds to your pressure, you can go somewhere else, take over the jungle, farm the triangle during the downtime, or when the enemy team is preoccupied in another part of the map. So yeah, it's a very farm heavy, pushy kind of play style. So if you're tired of playing all those initiators, you've got initiators in the team already. Like in this game, they've got Queen of Pain, next Assassin. So Venomancer is a decent pick. Yeah. Yep, and it just get overwhelmed, and that's game. So yeah, so this game we saw how Venomancer is pretty strong in the lane, but you need to have a strong melee support to actually tank for you. Otherwise, your lane's gonna be very hard. You can go different kind of items. You can go what Iceiceice did, I guess, with the Spirit Vessel. But honestly, this game I would say Spirit Vessel wasn't nearly as effective. He could have gone for something like a Lotus, which would protect his squishy cores, the Weaver and the Queen of Pain, because the enemy has a lot of single target spells. So that could have been an option. I mean, Blink Dagger 4 stuff is pretty much a good idea on Venomancer, I must say, because the hero doesn't have any mobility, and if you can't be in the fight with your team, then you're just useless. Boots of Travel is a nice item to have because it lets you push and counter push so well. Definitely worth buying. And yeah, I think that's it. Interesting. Venomancer. So what I'll try to do from this replay analysis onwards is that after I look at how a pro plays a particular hero, I will try it out myself, trying to remember all the things that I observed from their replay and yeah, I'll show you guys how my own experience with the hero is. So after this video, I'm gonna make another one, which is me playing Venomancer. Hopefully, it's a game which I won, so I can show you guys what I did right. And yeah, so if you like to see more of that, definitely just like, subscribe, helps a lot. Maybe you can just comment what hero you want to see me try out in 7.28 because I haven't been in this game for very long. I just came back, so I don't know what heroes are good. Yeah, so until then, I guess I'll see you guys.